Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Today we have got a very fun video that I cannot wait to get into. But if you didn't know, I'm actually uploading twice a day this week, apart from maybe on Wednesday. But I did upload a video 5 hours ago from this one. Chelsea fans react from the game against Wolves, starting to look forward to the game tomorrow against Valencia and Liverpool this coming weekend. However, it isn't just two massive games of football this week for Chelsea Football Club. There is also the small matter of FIFA 20's release. I've already let you guys know I'm going to be doing a Chelsea career mode. There's going to be, it's going to be good, trust me. I've done Chelsea career modes before. They've always had a good reception, but we're going to do it even bigger and better this time and expect like 25-30 minute episodes every couple of days. But for this week, the game releases for early access on Thursday and there'll be a brand new episode every single day after that for a week. So look forward to that one. It's going to be a load of fun. Today, as you can tell from the title of the video, we're going to be taking a look at the FIFA 20 Ultimate Team icon cards. I keep calling them legends, so if I call them legends, you can correct me in the comments, but I already know, so you kind of would be wasting your time. I'm just used to calling them legends. I've not really played Ultimate Team since they've become icons, and a lot of them, 12 of them in fact, have actually played for Chelsea in the past. We're going to take a look through their legend cards. I've actually put them on like a rare gold card so we could see what their stats would look like if they were playing in Chelsea's team now. Not only are we going to be looking through all 12 of those icons, I'm going to be ranking them in order of my favourites as Chelsea legends, I guess we could say, and at the same time comparing them to existing players in the current team. I'm not at any stage in this video going to make claims such as Ross Barkley is as good as Gullit was in his prime. That's not what we're trying to do here today. I'm just trying to make comparisons, and you'll see as we go on, I've tried to match up existing Chelsea players with Chelsea icons as best as I possibly can. So, we're going to start from the bottom. We're going to work our way all the way to the top. My number one Chelsea legend, you'll find out who it is in this video today. We're going to start with number 12, and we are going to start with the versatile midfielder Juan Sebastian Veron, the Argentinian. He signed for Chelsea in 2003 after what was kind of like a spell at Manchester United. He signed and it was a brilliant start. He only made 14 appearances for Chelsea, but he did get a goal at Anfield, and I remember it so well because it was the start of the Roman Abramovich takeover. We've got this Argentinian central attacking midfielder slash deep line playmaker slash central midfielder. Juan Sebastian Veron, he could do it all. And he was also a bit of a wizard from set pieces as well. Sadly, we didn't get to see it so much at Chelsea. But if we take a look at his icon card here, he's got 85 shooting, 90 passing, 85 dribbling, 85 physical, and not the worst defending and pace as well. It's a pretty tasty card. This is obviously his prime icon card, and I've put it on a gold rare card today so that we can use more direct comparisons to the current Chelsea players. And I've compared Juan Sebastian Veron to Ross Barkley. I kind of feel as though Ross has come in. I don't think he's going to be at Chelsea forever. I think that he's probably going to lose his place in the team, and then Chelsea will probably end up selling him. It's not that I want that to happen. It's just I think that's the way it is going to be with all of these midfielders coming through at Chelsea. And if we take a look at Ross's card, he's obviously a non-rare. He's got 80 dribbling as his standout stats. He's 79 rated, non-rare gold. Juan Sebastian is in 12th. So moving in to number 11, we've got the Portuguese central midfielder, Deco. Deco was a creative midfielder, used to play in like a deeper lying role when he came to Chelsea. Obviously, we got him towards the end of his career, which was a sparkling career, particularly at Barcelona. Very tactically smart player, great vision, brilliant technical ability, and ball control, probably one of the best of his generation, to be fair, Deco, in terms of the way that he controlled the ball. I've put him in number 11. I've made the comparison for Deco with Jorginho. Obviously, Jorginho's standout stats, if we take a look at his FIFA 20 Ultimate Team card here, is passing and also his dribbling. In Deco's prime, those were two of the key focused elements of his game also. I put Deco in number 11. Moving into number 10, now this guy, Hernan Crespo, what an absolute legend this bloke is. I mean, there's a reason he got an icon card in FIFA. I remember the days from Hernan Crespo at Chelsea because I'll tell you a fun story. Once upon a time, my dad did a bit of building work for somebody who was best friends with the Chelsea kit man in the year 2003. My dad did some work and basically he managed to get us a pass to park in the players' car park under Stamford Bridge during a match day, which was pretty damn cool because we got there super early. I didn't get to go to Chelsea every weekend back in those days, in the Hernan Crespo days, because dad couldn't afford to take me every weekend. The trains were expensive, tickets were expensive, so I went to watch Reading play instead, which is ironic because now Reading fan base aren't my biggest fans, that's for sure. So Hernan Crespo, one of my best memories of him was being in this Chelsea players car park underneath Stamford Bridge, and I bumped into Hernan Crespo walking with his agent back to his car. Of course, little old me, the age of like 9 or 10 years old, I'm literally like begging my dad to stop Hernan Crespo for me because I'm too nervous and shy to get a little picture. Not only did Hernan Crespo take a photo with me, I've also got his autograph in an autograph book somewhere. Quite a cool little story. So as for what Hernan Crespo bought to Chelsea when he was playing, we obviously signed him from Inter Milan for about 16 point something million, if I remember correctly. He was a very fast striker in his prime. I remember he scored that absolute wonder goal against Wigan in one of his first games for the club. Very tenacious, good in the air, and was often very good at creating spaces to involve his teammates around him, particularly at his time at AC Milan. If we remember, when Hernan Crespo was in that Milan team that were beaten by Liverpool in the 2005 final. It didn't quite work out for him so much at Chelsea, but he still managed to get himself 20 goals in 49 appearances. Hernan Crespo coming in number 10, and it's quite difficult to come up with a comparison for Hernan Crespo, but I've given it to Michy Batshuayi for now. If we look at Michy Batshuayi's card again, obviously I've already done my FIFA 20 Chelsea player ratings reaction. If you want to see that video, I'll leave it as a card on the screen. Batshuayi's card, it's not quite up there with that of Hernan Crespo. You look at Crespo's 89 pace, 90 shooting, and 89 dribbling. Michy, he's struggling a little bit with that one, but Crespo goes in at number 10. So number 9, and the highest rated prime legend... I did it. I knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to say legend. The highest rated prime Chelsea icon in FIFA 13 is Ruud Gullit, the man who was playing under Glenn Hoddle, and then Glenn Hoddle left as manager. Ruud Gullit comes in as player manager. What a man this guy is. He always speaks very highly about Chelsea whenever he's in the media, whenever he's doing television appearances. And Ruud Gullit's legend card, icon card, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it on purpose, I swear. Ruud Gullit's icon card is absolutely extraordinary. I actually packed him a few years ago. We've got 91 shooting, 91 passing, 90 physical, 89 dribbling, 82 defending, and 86 pace. You can see here he's got a centre forward card, 93 rated. We stuck the Chelsea badge on it. Ruud Gullit, what a player this guy was. Versatile, complete midfielder, yet again, similarly to Veron, but I think definitely the level above. Great work rate, and in his prime, unbelievable athleticism. Ruud Gullit was some player, and in terms of who I've compared him to now, I've actually compared Ruud Gullit to Willian for the sake of this video. I know it's a bit of an extraordinary comparison, and a lot of you at this point are going to lose interest in this video. For those of you that have stayed around, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. I compared him to Willian because Willian was always a player, and is a player, who likes to involve himself not just on the ball, but he's also looking to make space off of the ball, which is something that Ruud Gullit was very good at doing in his time as a professional. 64 appearances, 7 goals for Chelsea for Ruud Gullit. He goes in at number 9. So we're starting to make our way now towards the top half of the Chelsea X-Icon players for FIFA 20. For number 8, I've given it to Andrei Shevchenko. We can see here, the Ukrainian's got himself a 91 rated card, the standout stats being the 87 dribbling, the 92 shooting. This guy had a ridiculous shot, be it with his right foot or even his left foot. I remember in particular for Chelsea, some special goals he scored against Tottenham, Aston Villa. Shevchenko, he came to Chelsea in the twilight years of his career, you could say. Very good, very similarly to Hernan Crespo, playing off of his teammates. Andrei Shevchenko is a Ukrainian legend, centre forward, very strong, very physical player, and was very, very good being a traditional centre forward. He was always in the right place at the right time to score different kinds of goals. And even though his time at Chelsea wasn't the best moments of his career, I definitely remember being very excited to see him play. And like I mentioned, those goals against Villa and the goal against Spurs, I'll always remember those. As for who I compared Andrei Shevchenko to, Shevchenko, he had a pretty special goal in his locker, so I compared him to the current Chelsea man, Olivier Giroud. Obviously, Olivier Giroud is not quite ready for an icon card yet, but he's getting on a little bit. He's a bit older. Olivier Giroud, very good in the air, very good with his left foot in particular. I don't really know why I've compared him too much to Shevchenko. There's not that much comparison that could be made there, but classic target man, Giroud, Shevchenko. Shevchenko is in at number 8. So moving into number 7, and the final Chelsea icon in the bottom half of this video, it is Michael Ballack. We talk about complete versatile midfielders a lot within this video. I think that a few years ago, if we're talking like 15, 20 years ago, a lot of the things in football, it was very, very simple compared to what it is now. There are so many new tactics that are involved now. There are new positions that have been made. And a lot of the midfielders that were so good about 10, 15 years ago were midfielders that could offer everything. They could play in the deeper line roles. They could go forward. They could attack. And versatility in central midfielders, it's not a dying art. It certainly isn't. But in terms of the best players in the previous generation, being a lot more versatile and being able to play anywhere in the midfield was something that was a lot more common. And with Michael Ballack, he really was the complete versatile midfielder. We signed him on a free transfer, which is one of Chelsea's best ever signings when you think about it. 105 appearances for the club, 17 goals. He was good with both feet. He was very aggressive. His passing range was very good. And he was a very intelligent, calm player. And I actually remember watching Chelsea versus Ipswich in the FA Cup. I was in the Matthew Harding lower. Michael Ballack was warming up and he's taken a shot. He said it's so hard. He killed a pigeon in the middle of the goal. Warming up, just trying to hit some shots at the keeper. And Michael Ballack killed a pigeon. He's got a 91 rated card there. Every single stat on his prime FIFA 20 icon card is above 80 rated. 90 shooting, 88 passing. This is an incredible card, and kind of starting to think I should do an Ultimate Team series now as well. What do you reckon? Hit the like button if you think I should. As for who I've compared Michael Ballack to, I think there's only really one option for this one, and it's Lewisham's Ruben Loftus-Cheek. The man, he's a monster, isn't he? He's absolutely brilliant. He's strong. He's versatile. If we're talking about these versatile midfielders that we've just mentioned, Ruben Loftus-Cheek is certainly that. And although his FIFA 20 Ultimate Team card isn't the best, there's definite comparisons there with Chelsea's Michael Ballack. Now we move into the top half of this video. We have got Marcel Desailly. If ever we need to give a pat on the back for a reason why we had such an incredible captain for so long over the years in John Terry, one of the main men and one of the main reasons why Terry came through as such a leader at Chelsea so young was because of the influence of Marcel Desailly. This guy was a leader in his own right. He's one of France's best ever centre-backs. They nicknamed him the Rock for his hard tackling, and he was a charismatic leader on the pitch, not just for Chelsea, but also for France as well. Marcel Desailly was the captain before John Terry. Played 222 games for Chelsea, scoring 7 goals, and I've put him in at number 6. As for the comparison, it's quite difficult really in terms of the current crop of players. If we're looking for a leader at the back in the current Chelsea team, I've given it to Rudiger. Rudiger's got a pretty decent FIFA 20 card, and although he's not quite the same leadership skills as Marcel Desailly, it's the most direct comparison that I could have made. Now this is where it starts to get very interesting. The top 5, I think you can probably guess the top 2, but I could have easily interchanged the 3 before the top 2 for various different reasons. With number 5, we're going to go with the man that revolutionised the defensive midfield position, and Chelsea was so fortunate enough to have him for 217 appearances, only scoring 2 goals. I remember he stepped up for that penalty against Charlton, Claude Makelele, and he missed it. And luckily he scored the rebound, which if he didn't score that rebound in that penalty against Charlton, I think it was Charlton, I might be wrong, I'd have been distraught. I wanted Makelele to score. Everyone wanted Makelele to score. He wasn't known for his goals though. He was known for that aggressive tackling, the way he breaks down the play. As I said earlier, it revolutionised the defensive midfield position, the timing of his tackles, the way he dictated the tempo of games. Claude Makelele is a Chelsea legend. He's got a 90 rated card here, some brilliant stats, 50 shooting, it's about right, we're not going to argue with that one. 88 defending and 88 physical. Makelele. There's obviously one comparison that we can make here, and it is N'Golo Kante. They're both French. N'Golo Kante is Chelsea's highest rated player in FIFA 20 Ultimate Team now that Eden Hazard is sadly a Real Madrid player. He's a 91 rated card. It looks pretty ridiculous. N'Golo Kante, 89 rated. People have often compared him to Makelele, and a conversation is often had of who was the better player. I feel as though the game has developed a lot since Claude Makelele retired, and N'Golo Kante, although he still is such a brilliant ball-winning midfielder in the centre of the park for Chelsea, you can see that his attacking game is getting better as well. And it's something that Makelele was never really needed to do. He was always that deep line playmaker as opposed to someone going forward. But now that Kante's got different roles at Chelsea, we're seeing him develop going forward. But that was the most obvious direct comparison that I could have made. Let's move into number 4, and this man is one of my favourite Chelsea players ever, in terms of not every Chelsea player that's ever put the shirt on has got a FIFA 20 icon card. I mean, John Terry should be in there at some point. Michael Essien, nicknamed the Bison. This man is an absolute unit. We can remember the goal against Arsenal, but the one for me that always stands out, even though it ended in a bit of a disaster that day, that goal he scored against Barcelona, the way he hit that volley with his weak foot that hit the crossbar, hit the floor and go in the back of the net. Michael Essien scored one of the best goals you'll ever see at Stamford Bridge. The man was energy in defence, in attack, whatever it was he was asked to do. Even put him in centre-back, Michael Essien would do a job. And whenever he was in the team, I was always so confident that no one was going to get past him. Even though he wasn't the quickest player, on his day he was still pretty rapid. And Michael Essien's strength was absolutely huge in some very successful years for Chelsea Football Club. The man is still a brilliant ambassador for Chelsea. And in terms of a direct comparison, that we can make to Michael Essien now, I'd probably say Mateo Kovacic. And the main reason for that is Kovacic is pretty hard with his tackling. He's a good dribbler. Kovacic is not afraid to slide in. And even though he's not quite been as influential at Chelsea yet as Michael Essien was, scoring 17 goals Essien in 168 games, Kovacic, I can see the comparison ever so slightly. So moving into number 3, we're up to the medal positions now. I've put Gianfranco Zola. He's got a 90 rated FIFA 20 icon card, 86 pace, 91 shooting, 88 passing, 91 dribbling, 312 appearances for Chelsea, scoring 80 goals. People were comparing Eden Hazard to Gianfranco Zola. Zola was absolutely brilliant. I was fortunate enough to be able to watch him play live at Chelsea. Not that I can remember it that well because I was just a little nipper, but in terms of attacking, playmaking players, Gianfranco Zola is one of the best of his generation. Ball control, dribbling, vision, passing, an eye for goal. Zola scored pretty much everything. Call it back heels, flicks, whatever it was. The way that Zola dribbled, there were reasons why people compared Eden Hazard to Gianfranco Zola. The little Italian magician was absolutely class for Chelsea. He's one of the biggest legends of the club. It was great to see him working at Chelsea Football Club last season. It's a shame it didn't all work out there, but I'll never forget Gianfranco Zola. The auto glass shirt with Gianfranco on the back was one of my first Chelsea shirts I ever owned. And if I do start playing Ultimate Team, which as this video is progressing, I'm starting to feel as though I might do it, and I should do it at some stage or another, making a series for you guys. Well, I'd be looking at this Zola card as one I definitely want to get hold of. In terms of the comparison with a current Chelsea player, I feel as though it's doing an injustice to Hudson-Odoi to bring up his silver rated 74 card. Zola was often like working out on the wings, Jimmy Floyd in the middle, that kind of vibe. Hudson-Odoi, obviously, he's got a long way to go. He's still very young. We're talking potential still with Hudson-Odoi. I said I'd make a comparison with all the players in this video, so that's the one I'm doing for Zola. So number 2, I think it makes it kind of obvious who number 1 is when we go to number 2. But number 2, if you hadn't yet guessed it, it's the man whose picture takes pride and precedence right here above the SW6 Chelsea Football Club sign, Didier Drogba. What a man this guy was. Honestly, if ever there was a striking hero of Chelsea history, Didier Drogba for me. He's got to be number 1. 157 goals in 341 appearances for Chelsea. We're talking about the king of being the big game player. We're not just talking about putting it past Manuel Neuer in Neuer's backyard. We're talking about games against Arsenal, games against Barcelona, games against Liverpool, where Didier Drogba showed up time and time again to win things for Chelsea. Be it big Premier League games, cup finals. Didier Drogba was the man for the big occasion. He was amazing from set pieces. And overall, he's just a flipping great guy. I love Didier Drogba. And I mean, if I carry on talking like this, by the time we get to number 1, I'm going to start flipping crying. But I'll try and compose myself and keep it together for you guys as best as I can. And the obvious comparison for Didier Drogba is the man of the moment. It's the man we're all talking about. It's Tammy Abraham. It's still very early to compare Tammy and Didier. And I kind of feel as though it's unfair for me in this video to compare current Chelsea players and show their FIFA 20 cards compared to these legendary icon cards in FIFA 20, but I am seeing some similarities between Tammy and Didier. The way that Tammy scored that 3rd goal in particular was very Drogba-esque in the game against Wolves, and I'm excited to see where Tammy goes in the future. But this Didier Drogba icon card, it's flipping ridiculous, and his 47 defending for Drogba is a travesty, and EA need to fix that. So number 1, it is pretty obvious. It is Super Frankie Lampard, Chelsea's manager, the number 8, the man who, well, I mean, it speaks for itself. 648 appearances for the club, 211 goals, Chelsea's all-time record goal scorer. The way that Frank Lampard read the game, people can stay and compare him to Scholes, Gerrard, who's the better player. It doesn't really matter. If you're a Chelsea fan, there's only really one person who comes out on top in that conversation. The goal scoring record that Frank Lampard has is absolutely ridiculous. The technique of the way he hits the ball, he could even scuff the ball and he'd still hit it so well that it would go in the back of the net and he'd score. His vision, the way he always knew when to arrive in the box. He was a leader in the Chelsea team as well. Part of that Czech, Terry, Lampard, Drogba spine that were full of leaders at Chelsea, and the reason why we've been able to build a mould of success at Chelsea over the recent years. Super Frankie Lampard is the number 1 in the video. His passing is 88, shooting 90, 84 dribbling. He was never known as the paciest player. 74 pace isn't ideal. 73 defending. He's got a 90 prime icon card in FIFA 20. Very excited to get my hands on this one if I can. And in terms of comparisons, it's very difficult to really compare any of these players. I've said it 100 times in this video. Mason Mount. I mean, it looks as though Mason is one of Frank's favourites. I think obviously seeing him develop at Chelsea, having him at Derby last year, there's clearly a bond between Mason Mount and Frank Lampard. And in terms of how Mason can improve as a footballer and how Mason can get better, learn more about the game and learn from the best, there isn't any better than Frank Lampard, and Mason Mount is in brilliantly safe hands. And I think people are already starting to make those comparisons. The way that Mason is always in space, he's always waiting around the box, he can shoot, he can pass, and his vision and the way he works off the ball is extremely smart, similarly to that of the legendary Frank Lampard. That has been my top 12 in order. Chelsea FIFA 20 icons. Comparisons here and there with current players as well, but that really wasn't the point. The point of this video is to take a look at those FIFA 20 ex-Chelsea players who have got icon cards this year. Let me know your order in the comments down below. Let me know if there is any moments in particular that you remember from maybe Ruud Gullit, if you're a little bit older than me. Maybe it was Veron's game against Liverpool. Where were you when you remember seeing that? Were you a little kid in a pram? I wasn't quite in a pram, but I was only 9 years old at the time, so it's quite cool. Tomorrow's video, of course, will be a Valencia match preview at 12 o'clock at lunchtime tomorrow, and then a match vlog after the game against Valencia. Try and stay awake if you can. I'd advise you not to watch the highlights and watch the George Benson football channel. There will be a match vlog going live at around 10:30, 11 o'clock tomorrow night. So 2 videos again tomorrow. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you're excited for the FIFA 20 content here on the George Benson football channel, we're going to start with career mode and probably do some kind of Ultimate Team Road to Glory series eventually, depending on how well the videos perform on the channel. Be sure to leave a like rating, subscribe if you're new and you haven't already, turn on those notifications so you don't miss any content. I will catch you all later. Goodbye.